So DanMachi definitely just had its most messed up moment to date, because it's one thing to like psychologically break your MC, which essentially that's what Freya just did, but it's a whole other to wipe away 4 seasons worth of progress with all these different characters. Now, do I think we can break the spell over time? Sure, but I have never felt worse for Belle than the moment when Hestia had to pretend not to know Belle because everyone's watching. Little rabbit's foot, man. Just destroyed. And let this be a lesson. It doesn't matter how good the lay might seem. Never stick your dick into crazy. Because you never know what goddess might decide to say, you know what? F them all. I'm going to literally wipe the memories of everyone and just say, I got rejected. Who? This bitch be crazy. I have full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my uncut thoughts standing this DanMachi wildness over there exclusively. So, it's too early to say this. I'm not going to say this is how I feel. But given the last couple of episodes, I very much suspect Season 5 could potentially match, if not surpass Season 4, which I didn't think I would say. Season 4 is the magnum opus of what DanMachi can be, in my opinion. Great action, but amazing psychological horror and character development. I mean, everything that, Belle and Ryu went through, just fantastic. But now that we have a goddess truly unhinged, and she's a psycho bitch. Like, there's no other way to put it. Like, she's actually crazy. Fell in love at first sight. Belle resisted her this whole time. What does she do? Well, like any sane person who gets rejected, she wipes the memories of everyone. To say, no, Belle's always been with the Freya Familia. The Hestia Familia who? The Freya Familia is a cult. Like, there's no other way to put it. I don't blame people for maybe naturally joining up and just being like, well, your goddess can do no wrong. But at a certain point, you have to realize, damn, this girl be cray-cray. It's the fact that Hestia is the only one who can push back against this. And, Hermes decided to give us a little note. I'm not sure what's on the note. It's probably a piece of information that only he knows. So if she ends up giving it to him, then it has to be like a trust thing or something. Either way, we do know we have at least one other ally that will be joining us, but we have to wait for the right moment. You know damn well the Freya Familia are going to be stalking Hestia and the like for a long time to come. Belle's just getting gaslit at this point, because the thing that's really scary about the situation is if you put yourself in Belle's shoes, eventually there's going to come a point that he thinks he's crazy. Because if the collective world is saying, bro, you've always been a part of the Freya Familia, eventually he's going to think he's crazy. Because that's what would happen. He woke up one day and was like, what the hell, where am I? And everyone's acting like he's always been there. If it was just the Freya Familia and he couldn't leave outside their doors, yeah, like he'd be like, these bitches are trying to indoctrinate me. But by going collectively everywhere, he's being gaslit. Like, there's no other way to put it. He's actually being manipulated. And this poor guy, man, because I don't even know what that would do to your psyche. If you, like, imagine however old you are, just one day you woke up and everything was that different. Like, you would actually think you're in a padded room somewhere and you're going crazy. It's wild what she's doing, and just I like how, too, at the start of the episode, they cleared up the last little bit I needed, because the one question I had after the reveal of Seer and Freya and who takes whose place, right? The whole idea that, like, you have the original who basically ends up sometimes filling in for the goddess, but the goddess, for the most part, was acting as just some service lady. The idea that at the start of the season, we see who we thought was Seer walk up to Goddess Freya asking for permission, and she mentioned how pretty much on one hand she can count, but sometimes their consciousness was more or less blended into two, so the idea of it actually being, the original girl asking for permission because obviously she wanted to eliminate Belle because Belle was getting a little too close to comfort to her goddess. It's just, I like how there was essentially three. There was the original, there was the goddess Freya, and then there was that kind of in-between shared link consciousness. And it's wild what this bitch has ended up doing. This season has definitely improved. Very enjoyable stuff from the get-go, and as I said in the first few episodes, it was kind of refreshing coming off of the hell on earth that was season 4. But they sideswipe you with where they went. And it's weird to me because I remember source readers telling me, now maybe source readers were trying to downplay it so this would hit extra hard, or maybe some source readers just didn't actually read this full arc. Because there was a lot of people saying that this was going to be a slower DanMachi season. I mean, you didn't need to lie. People were telling me season 4 was going to be the craziest shit ever, and it still blew me away. But maybe just some people didn't get to maybe some of the seer reveals, and that's why. Because I could see how the first few episodes wouldn't feel that crazy. Still very much enjoyed it, and I think it leads to the punchlines of the past couple of episodes hitting so much harder, but still, DanMachi ain't missing. It's really interesting when you look at the beginning of this show to where it's ended up. There's definitely stuff that I wish was better, and based on source readers' comments, like the fact that, our boy's crush, apparently a lot more developed in the source material. For us, it's like, the heart wants what it wants. I appreciate that he's not just some F-boy who bounces around women. He's actually pretty loyal to who he thinks he likes, which, respect, you gotta follow your heart. But at the end of the day, I do think the show has gotten progressively better. It's just, season 3 was really the turning point for me. Season 1 and 2 was an enjoyable show, but season 3 really turned the show into something else, and made me say, damn, I'm really excited. And then season 4 and now 5 just, skyrocketed in this quality. I don't know what we do, other than probably a couple episodes of Belle mentally and emotionally breaking. Hestia recruiting Hermes, but then because they're being watched, and the Familia is just it's a cult. They're freaky with how loyal they are, but there's one option. There's a lot of large weapons in this world. Take one of those and just cut that bitch's head off, because she does not deserve to live. And I think a lot of the gods would probably agree at this point, because she did mentally break them. I thought I was watching some hentai with how hard the minds were getting. Let me know what you thought, because I think this is the most messed up thing that's ever happened to Belle, hands down. And honestly, it's going to be heartbreaking if they really play into the I think I'm going crazy route, which I think they will do. Thoughts down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell. Like I mentioned, we have full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Michael Goodley, Yuki Ali, Aloon, Rogue Knight, Pranay Sumshwar, Darian Smith, and we also have Rajver Mullen. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you'll have a good one.